You guys seem to have really enjoyed my post-game reaction on the Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during the NFL's season debut. And I really wanted to do the same thing for the LA Rams last night, but the thing is there were so many storylines going on that I guess my head could really wrap around that one storyline for Sunday Night Football. But if it's something you guys also want in the future, I'll happily give that to you guys. But in this instance, I found it nearly impossible not to do a post-game reaction. And if you're up late right now watching my video, comment Mike Mafia's up. And before we get to the content, just do me a favor and sack that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Just absolutely obliterate that bad boy to help give me a push in the algorithm, and consider subscribing and turning on our notifications. Now that we got all that out of the way, break! Okay, I'm really excited because this is going to save you so much freaking money. It's a plugin called Honey that you just install to your web browser, and this is how it works. It's really simple. You go to joinhoney.com/microphone, and then let's say you just want to buy something, right? I want to buy a brand new Dak Prescott jersey, so I go over here on Fanatics, and right away you can see Honey has this little plugin over here that's telling me all of the last successful coupons and all the coupons that have been working recently. We go over here to America's Team. We go over here to Dak Prescott, and notice how Dak Prescott's jersey starts out at $149. And right here, as I'm about to check out, you can see that there's 4 coupon codes found. Fanatics automatically gives us a discount to $119, but I want a little more. I go to apply coupons. It's $149 beforehand, and Honey tests out all of these available codes to try to get you the best deal humanly possible to get you the cheapest price. And you can see originally we got a $119 valuation on this jersey. Now we could buy this jersey for $105. So definitely a huge tool, and a very easy tool to use, and an extremely useful tool to use. And if you don't have it, just go to the link in the description down below, joinhoney.com/microphone. And thank you, Honey, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Before we even get to the actual game, we have to talk about something that I absolutely enjoyed that this game featured. You see, if you were watching Monday Night Football, there were 2 ways you could enjoy Monday Night Football. You could have either enjoyed it the classic way, or you had this remarkable opportunity to turn the channel to ESPN2 and watch NFL legends like Peyton and Eli Manning roast each other while also providing remarkable analysis, and also featuring Ray Lewis, which is something that I personally really enjoyed. I mean, getting the opportunity to see the insight that Peyton and Eli bring to the table, watching the game through their eyes, learning things that I typically would take for granted or not really acknowledge, such as the language that goes into play calling, is something that was really awesome to watch. And honestly, I felt like I was learning a lot more about the game of football as I was watching Peyton and Eli commentate over it, in addition to Eli just absolutely roasting his brother, which I personally found very, very comical as well. And this is no offense to the original Monday Night Football commentary team, but I feel like they struck gold here because they probably looked at what CBS was doing with Tony Romo and figured, hey, we need our own version of Tony Romo, so why not bring in the Manning brothers? I think they have a really good job here. I think they could bring a tremendous amount of value to the commentary team in the future, and I hope this is something that we could expect more often on Monday Night Football. Now, you guys didn't come here to watch me talk about how great Peyton and Eli are at commentating. Rather, I'm sure you guys wanted to get my impressions on the remarkable game that we just watched. And in this game, I saw a lot of things that I expected. I saw the Baltimore Ravens look good early on and clearly solve their running back issues with an early touchdown from Tyson Williams, which, by the way, I'm kind of bummed out because I immediately went for Latavius Murray and Le'Veon Bell, and hell, I even went for Devontae Freeman and Trent Cannon, but I never really considered picking up Tyson Williams in fantasy, so that's a huge L for me. But once Lamar Jackson was able to find Hollywood Brown in Las Vegas in the second quarter for a 10-yard touchdown, I began to think that, hey, maybe the Baltimore Ravens have this under wraps. After all, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of looked down upon the Las Vegas Raiders over the past couple of years, mainly because of Mike Mayock's terrible drafting. I mean, this is a guy that was supposed to come in and be like some sort of drafting expert. Of course, he hasn't really hit on most of his picks, and of course, he's made some really strange decisions recently. I mean, he literally just cut his third round pick from last year in training camp this year, so it kind of makes it seem like he doesn't really know what he's doing. Selecting Henry Ruggs over CeeDee Lamb was also interesting. Selecting Cleveland Farrell with the 4th overall pick was very interesting, but I digress. The one thing that I will give the Las Vegas Raiders and any John Gruden-led team is, one, I have tremendous respect for the fact that they kept Derek Carr as the quarterback. Typically, when a new head coach comes in, they try to bring in their own quarterback as well, and the fact that they kept him in there showed that they're very patient and not necessarily the most impulsive head coaching staff. But in addition to that, I just loved what I saw from this team. They were extremely resilient throughout the game, and a prime example of this was in the late 4th quarter. I mean, there was a point where the Las Vegas Raiders were able to tie the game at 17 apiece with a Josh Jacobs touchdown. Then, of course, Latavius Murray also rushes up the middle for another 8-yard touchdown a few moments later, literally within a minute. And then Derek Carr is able to come back and find Darren Waller for another touchdown. Next thing you know, Justin Tucker's hitting a field goal, and all of a sudden, Daniel Carlson's outdoing Justin Tucker's 47-yard field goal with a 55-yard field goal of his own. And then we get into an overtime that was absolutely insanity for me. I mean, the play that I'm obviously going to be referring to is the Bryan Edwards reception that initially was ruled to be a touchdown, ended up getting the Las Vegas Raiders to the 1-yard line. Next thing you know, there's a false start penalty on the rookie Alex Leatherwood, and the Las Vegas Raiders move back a little bit. And of course, this is something that just drove me nuts, because this is something that if you don't go through each and every game, you're going to just look at the stat sheet and say, hey, Derek Carr might not be an elite QB or even a good QB. But if you just looked at the stat sheet, you would say, wow, Derek Carr threw an interception over here at the goal line, well, near the goal line in the red zone, when he had the opportunity to beat the Baltimore Ravens. But in reality, the man threw it to Willie Snead, or Willie Snead. Is it Snead or Snead? Let me know in the comment section. I haven't been able to get this right ever since he was a New Orleans Saint. I'm really sorry, Willie, if you happen to watch my videos, which I really highly doubt you do, but throws it to Willie Snead, and the man can't even come down with the football. Completely misses the football, doinks off of his hands, goes off of a Baltimore Ravens defender's helmet, and next thing you know, it's an interception. And if it wasn't for the legendary, one of my favorite Hard Knocks characters of all time, Carl Nassib, he wasn't in the Raiders Hard Knocks, he was actually in the Browns Hard Knocks, but I digress, coming out and punching out a fumble, giving Derek Carr a chance at redemption, throwing a nice pass to Zay Jones, who was just way too freaking open over here, then the Las Vegas Raiders would have lost. And here's the thing, the fact that they were able to hang in there and pull out this win isn't only a testament to their skill, but also a testament to their resilience. I'm not really going to blame the Baltimore Ravens for this, because with all due respect to the Ravens, these aren't really necessarily any new issues for them. I don't mean to be that guy, but it just seems like whenever there are big moments like this, the Baltimore Ravens just somehow come up a little short from time to time. But if they're not in these types of moments, they typically are extremely dominant. And that's why a lot of times we hear questions about whether or not this Ravens team would be a good playoff team. Because in these moments, it seems like sometimes they come up significantly short, but typically they're not even in these moments because they're typically dominating. I really hope this is a year where the Las Vegas Raiders turn it around. I've been waiting for the longest time, ever since John Gruden came back to the NFL. I want to see Gruden on top, man. Like, this is one of my favorite head coaches, and I want to see him in more national interviews if I can. And I feel like the Las Vegas Raiders really have the pieces, and they definitely, I hate saying this because it sounds like an old school football term, but they definitely have the heart to win football games, and we saw that here tonight. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. If you're a Raiders fan, how do you feel about this game? If you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, how do you feel about your team currently? Of course, it's just week 1, so both teams could improve tremendously as the year goes on, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.